Previously on The Sun Vanished. Seems like the sun has actually vanished. Okay. Where the news presenter cheerfully announces the sun has disappeared and the world has spun into darkness.
Disappearance of the sun.
If this keeps up, I may revisit. Hey you, and thanks for joining me as we revisit one of the weirder and more interesting ARGs, The Sun Vanished. I previously covered this story, but since May there have been many updates, exciting twists, and edge-of-your-seat revelations, if you're into that sort of thing. So let's kick the tires and light the fires. Has the world spun into the cold oblivion of space now that the sun has been gone for a while, and there is no gravity left to keep us in our solar system, leading to the eventual death of all life on Earth? Well, not exactly. So last we saw, things were going to hell in a handbasket, and our hero wasn't sure if they could trust good buddy Danyon. And also, those lights were scary as shit. The noises outside pick up again, with the banging on the front door continuing, loudly. And then, just when you're thinking, oh, it's just a bit of banging on the door, it'll be grand, it'll go away eventually, put the kettle on, it gets into the house. Shit. Okay, very terrifying and clearly looking for him. What happens if it gets him? Well, I'm not an alien horror expert, but I'm gonna assume that they don't want to take him for beers and to a strip club, you know what I'm saying? He goes into hiding for what seems like a day before it finally leaves and he's safe. The front door is unlocked and wide open, and no alarm went off. Unsafe. He starts to get back in touch with Danyon, who seems like he may have stopped taking the crazy pills. So after a break-in by those lights, he decides to get serious about beefing up the home security with the high-tech system of red cups behind a door. Yeah, that's good stuff, they won't be expecting that. He follows this up with the unbeatable tins on a string gag. I feel safer already. Okay, but things are finally looking up. Danyon gets back in touch. He's got a car and is gonna swing by so they can get the hell out of there. Smart move. Then, interestingly, he comes to us with a confession. This better be juicy. He feels that someone has been coming into his house while he's been sleeping. Though if someone has been coming in, why is he still unharmed? Disturbing as all hell, but he decides to put his paranoia to the test. He does the old flower on the floor trick. I've seen that in Paranormal Activity and it did not put their minds to rest. Okay, moving on, and things start to get more nightmarish. Remember back earlier in the story, in my previous video I mentioned that our guy was messaged by someone from British Columbia, basically saying, stay the hell away from the red lights or you'll turn into whatever this was. Well, he gets back in touch. No text, just one image. This. Nightmares begin about this image, and the screaming from outside starts again. And he begins to have his doubts about Danyon again also. To be fair, I wouldn't trust anyone, even myself, in this situation. Things aren't great right now for The Sun Vanished. But maybe looking up, our hero Danyon is on the way. Or maybe not. Remember the flower trick? Well, this happened. Great, sleep well. So now we know for sure that there's some asshole coming in the middle of the night, doing God knows what. Resolving to get the hell out of there, he packs his bag and he leaves. For reasons that make absolutely no sense to me, he decides to go to his neighbor's house, where he heard screaming time and time again. Yeah man, good idea. Take your pants off while you're at it, because shit is about to go down. He does find this helpful piece of info though in the house, though if he heard the screaming coming from this house also, it may not have helped whoever wrote it. Next thing, Danyon gives him a heads up. Shit's gonna go down for real this time. We finally then get a good look at this triangle-y shaped thingy. And they seem to know where he is. It leaves, eventually. Seems like it didn't find him, or doors are too complicated for this extraterrestrial creature that has spaceships. He does, however, find this notebook detailing what went on in the house before he arrived. They tell of experiments made to see how the creatures are attracted to light. It seems that they will go for any artificial light rather than people themselves, though the experiments end poorly, with the rider looking into the red light and, well, at least the sun's back for them. And it seems like they've followed our guide to this new house. The knocking resumes, and gets worse, head banging to the beat against his window. And then, they're inside the house. And they haven't left. And just when you think you're safe from these weird zombies, you ain't. Thankfully, Danyon comes to the rescue, the Dreamboat. Our hero then escapes with him, running to the car. While getting in, we see the reassuring, or maybe not so reassuring, seeing as how he doesn't trust Danyon, sight of a gun. Then we hear nothing for about 3 weeks. Complete silence on the page. He does finally begin tweeting again. Him and Danyon drove out to the sticks, camped for a while away from any civilization, and more importantly, away from those lights. He was out of reach of any cell towers, hence unable to upload. However, he does share a video he took while leaving town. It appears to be a star that disappears shortly after. Was it a star? He said the sky has been completely black. No stars at all since whatever happened. Was it one of the alien ships? Who knows? He and Danyon start to get into fights also, which is great. Danyon is against him uploading everything to Twitter, and they argue over what to do next. When they see this. They're taking over, man. And like a car crash, things start to get much worse, but you can't look away. Danyon leaves to get more gas. The next day, he's still not back. And his phone is dying. Seriously, 38 hours of battery? That's the fakest thing about this story. A figure seems to have found them in the woods. He claims someone is walking by his tent. The lights are there too. Heading out to investigate, he goes into the nearby crops, where he sees a giant figure. If the crops were about 6 to 7 feet tall, then this is big and goddamn scary. On July 17th, he powered down his phone and asked us to wish him luck. And he hasn't been heard from since. Is he okay? Did Danyon come back? Did the aliens get him? The zombies? Whatever? Get him? Who knows? Will he begin tweeting again? So there you have it. That's part 2 on TheSunVanished that brought us up to date. With no updates since July 17th. So, that's all, folks. That's weird. Did you hear that? Uh-oh. Mic out.